Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Eric Rohr. Welcome to the Jewish Pirate. We talk just life and how to navigate it, how to get better at life, motivation, if you will. It's been a hell of a long week. I'm recording this now, and let's get into it, and let's just go for it, okay? Today's topic, and by the way, if you have any topics that you want me to discuss and share ideas on, please feel free to drop it in the comments, send me a DM. Happy to make a video about it. But today we are talking about consistency and how to stay consistent, how to build consistency over a long time, and just better navigating life's storms. Because at the end of the day, we all encounter life storms. Life gets crazy. We get busy. We have things to do. We have families, etc. So how do we stay consistent? How do we build? How do we gain momentum? Let's get into it. We're sharing a few ideas. Let's start with number one. Number one is a very important idea that it took me a very long time to really download this idea, and that is the idea of knowing what you know and simultaneously also knowing what you don't know, right? So you can know that, hey, going to the gym is very healthy and that's what makes me feel fulfilled and it makes me feel happy and motivated and, gives me the energy to continue doing what I need to do. But you can also not know that, for example, eating right is an essential part of that, right? So knowing what you know and knowing what you don't know and having the knowledge to understand, you're like, hey, this topic, this thing that I'm struggling with, I don't understand how it works. Let me go consult someone who knows how to do it better. Know what you know and know what you don't know. And the things that you don't know, make sure that you're going to get expert advice on how to get better at it, right? Do some research, to go online, Google things, ask ChatGPT, right? Speak to experts in the field. Know what you know and know what you don't know. That's idea number one, very important for just gaining momentum in life and getting better at things, right? If you're only focusing on the things that you know, you're not really going to expand. So know what you know and know what you don't know. Moving on to idea number two. Idea number two is kind of self-explanatory, but I think it needs to be spoken about, and that is the idea of keeping track of your life, right? I know myself, every Saturday night, Sunday morning, whatever it is, I sit down with a journal, right, my small one, and I write down a list of everything that I need to do that week, right? And then I take that list and I plug it into the calendar. I'm going to do number 5 at 2 o'clock on Wednesday. I'm going to do whatever it is, right? But keeping track of your life and understanding and knowing what you need to accomplish and what you need to do, right? I'm trying to get to this goal, so these are the sub-steps that I need to do. Keeping track, right? Writing things down, keeping a journal, keeping an online journal, keeping a list, super important for building consistency and for gaining momentum. Just super essential. Like myself, I cannot function without a list. Like, this is the game plan, this is what I'm doing. Keep track of everything. So moving on to idea number 3, you guys, and this one takes a while to build, but we actually do have a hack for you in the description below. You can check out the link. And it's that of building an online space where you can keep track of your entire life. So I'm not just talking about writing down a grocery list or, a to-do list or whatever. I'm talking about keeping track of everything in your life. So working out, exercise, working out, eating right, journaling, business, personal ideas, whatever it is, journaling, whatever it is. The point is that when you have a space, an online space where you can keep track of everything, right? You can keep track of your entire life. That is a guaranteed way to keep track. That is a guaranteed way to build momentum and to build consistency in your life, right? If you're keeping track of everything, you're like, okay, last week I did this thing and I know exactly what I did. Okay, this week I need to improve on that thing. You can see everything laid out in front of you and just build consistency that way. So yeah, very important. Build an online place where you can just keep track of everything, right? If you have no idea what's going on in your life and you have no idea what your life has looked like for the last 6 months because you're just caught up in, okay, what am I doing today? But you don't remember what you did 3 weeks ago, it's not gonna help build consistency. So keep an online journal, keep an online matrix, if you will. That's what I call it. Yeah. Okay, moving on to idea number 4. Okay, so idea number 4 is something that it's a tricky topic, okay? And I myself definitely still struggle with this one, and it's I would say, at least for myself, it's highly debated internally, and that is the idea of habit tracking, right? So far we've been talking about keeping a journal, keeping an online journal, and this concept of habit tracking is something it's it's a tall order, because on the one hand, keeping track of all your habits, right, or working on multiple habits all at the same time, can be quite challenging, right? If I tell you, don't drink alcohol, don't smoke weed, don't watch porn, don't, make sure you exercise, eat right, drink water, right? Those are a lot of things to keep track of. And one of the concepts that I've come to realize in my life is that sometimes we're doing really well and things are going smoothly and you're just going to your job and whatever, and life is moving pretty well. And we call that a good season. And other times, you can be in the middle of a crazy season at work, right? And perhaps you work in retail and it's December and, you're super duper busy and you're like, oh my God, I'm just going to work. I'm working 14 hours a day and I'm barely functioning, right? So maybe that's not the best season to be tracking your habits. Maybe you're just like, hey, I just need to function and get the bare minimum done, get like exactly what I need to get done, and that's it. And everything else I'll focus on again in February, So habit tracking, yes, by all means, go track your habits, do the best you can, but also remember that life has seasons, and sometimes it is the season, and sometimes it is not the season. Something to just keep in mind. And I think that's important for, building consistency and gaining momentum is, yes, there will be seasons where you can build momentum and, build consistency and improve your life overall. But other times it's just about functioning and making it through the day. Be kind to yourself, be loving to yourself. Just because you didn't drink water or because you missed the gym or you ended up having a drink or whatever it is, that doesn't mean that your whole life is falling apart and everything is, ruined. But it's not the season. It's not the thing to be focusing on right now. So keep that in mind, you guys. And this brings us to our fifth and final idea. And this is a big one, because I think a lot of people, and I've definitely struggled with this. And I think a lot of you probably have struggled with this as well. And I was actually just having a conversation with a coworker of mine about this concept. And that is the concept of falling off the wagon, right? And I'm not talking about, falling off the wagon in the sense of, you've been going to AA meetings and, you've been sober for 7 years and you had a drink. I'm talking about where you're working on a habit and you're like, what, I'm going to not have a drink for a week, or I'm going to stop watching porn for a month, or, smaller goals. But sometimes in those smaller goals, you have a crazy day at work. Or your family's driving you crazy, or, school is insane, whatever it is. And you go home and whatever, your kryptonite is, you mess up and you end up doing the thing you don't want to do, or you don't do the thing that you do want to do, whatever the specifics are. But the idea that I really want to share with you is that life is not really about how many times you fall, but really it's about how many times you get back up, right? I know myself that whenever I fail at an endeavor, the hardest part is getting back on the horse, right? Because when you're down, you're like, I'm already down, might as well stay down. And sometimes that down can last for a few days, right? But it's the getting back on the horse. You know what? No. Tomorrow I'm not gonna fail at that thing again. I'm gonna go right back to where I was. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna continue doing what I'm doing, right? I'm gonna continue working on the consistency. I'm gonna continue working on that goal. Life is not about how many times you fall. It's really about how many times you get back up. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed that. If you found any value in this video and the ideas that we spoke about, please feel free to drop a comment below. If there's a concept that you want me to discuss next time, please, again, drop a comment below. If you really found any value, like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Peace.